Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I want to get in here real quick. I want to talk about something. As you can see from the title, the title is called "Doing Right to People," and as a title, I got it for today because if you I don't know if you guys been, I don't know if you guys have heard the news, but the rapper Cash Out just got sentenced today. He got sentenced to life. But if you don't know who's this rapper is or whatever it is, he's a rapper from Atlanta, Georgia. His name is Cash Out. See if I can find a picture of him for you. Well, I don't need to show you a picture. You're gonna see the whole video. But yeah, this is a rapper from Cash Out. He was sent to prison for sex trafficking, prostituting, pimping, and so much other crimes. He was sentenced to life. He was looking at 25, but he didn't want to take it. He didn't want to. I guess he didn't want to fight it. I guess he didn't. He didn't want the deal. I mean, he didn't want the deal, so he fought it, and now he got life. So, but this is a history of what happened. If nobody know what's going on, this is a history of what happened, and this is of him, of what he did, and the people that he hanged around himself with. So let's watch it. Subscribe, share, like. Also got a Twitch. H Mattel 95. Go follow me there. H Mattel 95. Go follow me there.
Nobody wins when the family feels. And I'm like, wait, hold up. Please let me roll up. Hey, yo, done chose.
Got a condo on my wrist, girl, I'm cashing out. Got a condo around my neck.
Mama Cash show though.
Oh yeah, that's the Mama Cash show. That's
It's
what's
the
up.
Mama Cash show. See all this? It's all
I
set.
made this. I made this. Oh, I'm about to say Louis Vuitton.
You always
pants.
got like we
You
drove
on the
by,
Mama
right?
Cash show.
The only thing we see was Mama Cash. We
That's
drove by. We didn't see none of these cars.
That's gonna be the situation. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be the situation no matter where you could be in a mall, you could be like in New York City. She's gonna stand out in the crowd. I mean, so that's that's.
You know that sign in Hollywood, the Hollywood sign?
Oh yeah, she's on top of the Hollywood sign. She's not even. She's on top of the Hollywood sign.
Mama Cash.
So when you're in the West Coast, look out for the Hollywood sign, and you might see it on top of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we in here on the video show. We out here.
County District Attorney's Office says human trafficking is a big priority for DA Fani Willis, and one reason is how much of it is going on in Metro Atlanta. And this case should serve as a warning to young women and their families about online invitations from strangers, big-name rappers or not.
The most troubling aspect of this case is that women have been victimized and brutalized within our community by people who had a chance to do something else with their lives.
Involvement of a celebrity rapper who has yet to go on trial on related charges, but because of the justice it got for a young woman who was trafficked, then attacked, and message it sends that buying sex is not okay and is a big deal.
So then he pulls a gun out and puts it in my hand. And was like, pull your pants down on you.
The greatest thing about the conviction of Taurus Drain is it sends a clear message that there are not throwaway people.
Because he's really like choking me, like remembering, so slams on the ground, trying to escape.
That this lady had value and he had no right to do what he did.
Within the last 24 hours, the district attorney for Atlanta, Fani Willis, had made some remarks to the local news station. It was information about a recent case and that young man being sentenced. He was sentenced to life plus 30 years for something we'll later discuss in the story. And after doing my research, in fact, this was the case that got the rapper from Atlanta and his mother arrested just last year. The mother-son, artist-manager duo had managed to get under the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. So before we uncover who we speaking on and what they done, remember family, I won't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. Atlanta rapper John Michael Hakeem Gibson, also known as Cash Out. He's been arrested for some months now and is facing multiple charges of R.S. trafficking and luring women according to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. For those who never heard of him, Cash Out had a promising career in the early 2010s. One of his most iconic tracks was a 2012 track titled Cashing Out.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
Those who answer the call of the vagabond know that the best stories are...
He followed
I remember when that song came out. I was this was 2010. That other song, not this song, but the other song, Cashing Out. I was probably like in it was 2010. So I was like maybe like in the 10th or something like maybe I say 10th grade. I was maybe like in the 7th grade or something like that when that song came out. It was very popular. And I remember She Twerking came out when I was like in the 9th grade.
Followed up with tracks like She Twerking.
She said I got too many shows. But she twerks.
As you can see, the talent was there. He even appeared as himself in a 2019 movie called Uncut Gems that starred the legendary Adam Sandler.
Crazy risk again.
I did not know he was in that movie. I seen that movie at least about 2-3 times. Did not know he was in that movie. Did not know.
About to pay.
This is Linda Smith, aka Mama Cash, Cash Out Mother. As we mentioned, she's the manager of her son, the platinum recording artist Cash Out. She's a businesswoman. Mama Cash is the owner of Honey Punch Merchandising, consisting of Honey Punch lip color, Honey Punch Moscato, Honey Punch clothing, and beauty line, and Honey Punch tattoo ink colors. She's actually the lead singer of her very own all-female rock band, Mama Cash, featuring Thunder Snatch. Before being incarcerated, she was adamantly on Instagram, tending to her over 28,000 followers. But she called herself different. She said her body could talk. I can't show the photo, but in 2015, Mama Cash gave The Source an interview and said the following. Well, everyone loves Mama Cash. That is if you're confident with yourself and not just mental. But on the other side of that spectrum, there is negative opinions and jealousy of others. They want to scrutinize my canvas of art. I don't understand why people are so critical. Just let me be me. Mama Cash does not define, and I'm sure they haven't done their research on tattoos history. So let me give you a little bit of knowledge. Tattoos begin about 5,000 years ago and is merged to the forefront of popular consciousness. It goes way back to the specific culture, when tattoos have a huge history. Now, she briefly talked about her merchandise that we talked about earlier in the video, but she said one quote that I want to talk about. I have things that's really exciting that's going on in my life, and I shared most of that on Celebrity Mamas of Atlanta. So clearly, she wanted the spotlight. Check out a small clip of her and her son on the Ricky Smiley show for her son interview.
And if you don't know, the mom was also involved in also involved in this crime too. It was a RICO charge for both the son, Cash Out, who is his name, I believe his name is I forgot his name now, but it was Cash Out, it was the mom, and it was also the cousin. They both were charged for sex trafficking. So the mom was also involved in this also.
Cat in this game. You still live at home?
Nah, man.
You just got the crib?
Yeah, man.
Like, how moms feel about that?
She's very,
over there all the
very
time?
happy because, you know, back in the day, she was one ready to kick me out, man, if I didn't get it together.
Hey,
man.
dog,
So-
she used to go off on you all the time. Does she still go off?
Yeah, man. She always keep the pressure on me, man. It definitely keep me on the right track, keep me going right instead of left, man. So I
And
really
dog,
thank her.
And I swear to God, she
thank God
finding
for me having her in
no
my life,
disrespect,
man.
your mom is like finding any woman I haven't seen have seen until you. So, mom, Mama, what's one of the things you had to go off on him about? Is there one thing? What one time he set you off where you had to really just grab him by his t-shirt and put him up against the wall?
When he was in them streets.
When he was in the streets, he can't speak into the mic. So he came in at what time?
5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
And what you do?
You don't want to know what I do.
Hey, what you do, Cash Out?
Oh yeah, she's gonna give it to you, man. She's got a full mouthpiece. You never can't get nothing
She
over
grabbed
her.
you by your shirt and put you up against the wall?
Nah, I think I was too old for that.
You too old for that?
But as fine as you are, you seem like the type of person that don't beat people with belts. Are you an extension cord kind of person, or like a shoe?
Belt.
It's funny that they're asking these guys. It's funny that they're asking this question about, you know, the beating with the belts and stuff like that, because in the one of the witnesses or one of the peoples were saying one of the victims were saying that she was beaten with belts by the rapper Cash Out, and then forced to sell her on her body.
Belt.
Belt.
Oh yeah, she was a fool with the belt back in the day.
I'm saying too much, but you'll hear more in this video.
So you be a little nervous though, cause you don't want to deal with her.
Definitely. When I was still young, I was like, man, how I'm gonna get in the house? Did I leave the window open?
Here's the dog. See, once she locked that screen door, it don't matter if you got a key. You got to punch a hole in that screen door and then go back and put a piece of cotton in it. All right, so what you got, Grant?
All right, man, Cash Out, you are in the building officially, man. Hottest record in the streets.
So we get to this point and understand they had a close relationship. Fast forward to 2022, Mama Cash and Cash Out will be arrested. There will be 2 of 5 people indicted by Fulton County. According to the indictment, they formed Pyrez Music Group LLC to promote the rapper's music and brand. However, the defendants are accused of using the company to coerce, entice, and recruit young women to engage in commercial as activities. The women reportedly expected to receive financial opportunities and personal benefits, including, but not limited to, increased power and status within the company.
Well, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office says human trafficking is a big priority for DA Fani Willis, and one reason is how much of it is going on in Metro Atlanta. In this case, should serve as a warning to young women and their families about online invitations from strangers, big-name rappers or not.
The most troubling aspect of this case is that women have been victimized and brutalized within our community by people who had a chance to do something else with their lives.
How many of these sex workers have been rescued?
We've rescued 2 so far.
Deputy Fulton County District Attorney Ernell Winfrey says, John Michael Hakeem Gibson is a successful musical artist who performs under the name Cash Out, as seen on YouTube. But she says Cash Out has also been successful in cashing in on his celebritude to lure at least one of his young female victims unwittingly into a life of prostitution.
Was he making cash off young women?
He was making money, indeed.
Ms. Winfrey says Cash Out is the figurehead of an organization at the focus of a 41-count indictment handed down in late March against him and 5 others.
He's a very talented musical performer. Unfortunately, he didn't stay in that business, and he branched off to the business that finds him under indictment.
Ms. Winfrey says Cash Out faces 13 counts, including racketeering, plus trafficking a person for sexual servitude, rape and aggravated sodomy that allegedly occurred in a hotel room off Fulton Industrial Boulevard, keeping a place of prostitution at a home on Alfred Avenue Northwest, both locations shown in evidence photos, and beating a second victim with a belt.
He's accused, yes, of whipping.
You know what he said? He was being a second victim with a belt. So he had a whole house where he had nothing but these women that was sex trafficking. They were sex trafficked, and he had a house where he had them put there, and where man would come and have sex with them. And allegedly, he also the rapper Cash Out. He also had sex with these workers too, raping them and so on. So yeah.
Whipping a young lady who's a sex worker, and this was one of the girls that he had recruited.
A defense document predating the new indictment said, quote, Gibson was allegedly arrested for a rape charge where he did not even have sexual intercourse with the alleged accuser. Concerning one sexual servitude charge, it maintains the alleged accuser has never been in servitude.
He's facing a 25 to life crime.
Ms. Winfrey says one of Cash Out's co-defendants is a John, a prostitution customer, accused of 6 counts, including rape and pointing a gun at the victim. She says another suspect pointed a gun at a second young woman in another incident.
We want parents and family members to be aware, because one thing that we realize is that not just Cash Out, but a lot of people are recruiting young women through social media.
Now, Ms. Winfrey says Gibson, a.k.a. Cash Out, has previously pled not guilty to many of these allegations, but this new indictment adds new charges, including the racketeering. She says, minutes ago, she said that he's in jail. But to be clear, she says she has no reason to believe that he's left the music business. We have tried by cell phone and text to reach the lawyer we believe is currently representing Cash Out. Reporting live downtown Atlanta, Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.
Now fast forward a year later, less than 24 hours ago, we would get full context of how he ended up getting apprehended, or how he got caught rather. All this in regards to another man being charged for allegedly doing something to a young woman he was associated with. This is Torres Drain telling detectives a year some change before he gets sentenced to life plus 30 years, saying he met a female worker online but he didn't have the money. He ended up putting a firearm to her head and doing what he wanted, forcefully, without permission. That girl ended up telling detectives everything, including, allegedly, belonging to Cash Out, later being a state's witness to take down Cash Out alongside his mother and 4 others.
District Attorney's Office prosecutors suggest this verdict was important not as much for the tangential involvement of a celebrity rapper who is yet to go on trial on related charges, but because of the justice it got for a young woman who was trafficked, then attacked and raped, and for the message it sends that buying is not okay and is a big deal.
But then he pulled the gun out and puts it to my head. And was like, pull your pants down on you.
The greatest thing about the conviction of Taurus Drain is it sends a clear message that there are not throwaway people.
And, you know, my heart go out to these victims, to these females, because, you know, being raped is something that messes up with your mind psychologically, because it's like you can never erase that. It's something that you can never erase. And so my prayers and my like I said, my heart go out to females like that. Eventually, you know, sex workers, because they already doing something already so dangerous. And whoever they are, right? Whether sex workers or not sex workers, if you've been raped, my heart go out to you, because it's like I said, psychologically, your brain is just it can eat you up. It can eat you up. It can make you commit suicide. It can ruin your life. It can ruin your life. So my prayers go out to the victims in them. And it's just that like I said again, it can ruin your life. And without the right help, you can be looking at some, like I said, some female have committed suicide because of that. Some female have gone crazy. Then they were never the same after that. And like I said, my heart and my prayer go out to these females. And it's just my heart go out to these females and family.
Choking me like, remembering, so slings on the ground, trying to escape.
That this lady had value and he had no right to do what he did.
Travel can be.
These commercials going on long, boy.
Deputy District Attorney Ernell Winfrey says Taurus Drain, whose statement to an Atlanta.
So this guy here raped one of Cash Out females, and yeah, and now he's spending his whole life in prison.
Police
now.
detective was played in open court, cruised an online site to find sex for money in 2018, and negotiated a price via text with an alleged pimp that he didn't even have money in his bank account or wallet to pay. But he will pay a price now, following his conviction Monday for trafficking a person for sexual servitude, aggravated assault, strangulation. He was a convicted felon.
That is correct.
For?
Strangulation.
And false imprisonment.
Judge Melanie Lethbridge was the judge in the case, and she sentenced Mr. Drain to life plus 30 years to serve.
I do not know of another time that a John, as people would like to say, ever got a life sentence, but he earned it, and now he has it.
Dragged her to the back of the house, put her in a chokehold, put a gun to her head, and raped her.
Ms. Winfrey says the then 20-year-old victim, who called 911, was being trafficked for sex.
That's crazy. And some of these females that's being trafficked for sex. Oh, then forget that. Some of these females that's out there selling their body. Just, you know, some of them never really had a father in their life, a role model. So, and I've heard stories of females who just really, they're just looking for a good man. They're looking for a good man to sit them down, teach them to be a woman. And trust me, they'll leave their lifestyle, but they end up being with people like Cash Out and end up using them, raping them, and just destroying them, even taking them deeper into a pit that is that some of them can't even get out of. So, like I said again, some of these females, they just were looking for a good role model man, a man that's just gonna take care of them and respect them and show them how women should be treated. A lot of these females just got caught up on some stuff, never had daddies, never had a role model, whether from the mom or the dad, and that caused them to go astray. Not all of them, because they all somewhere had daddies and role models, but end up hanging out with some bad friends causing them to go to that path. But most of them most of them really didn't have a daddy, and like I be watching videos where some of them will say like I wish like some of them like they wish they had like they wish a good man would come to them and treat them the way a man should treat them and show them the way, and there's this, and this lifestyle they'll leave it because none of them really like it. So you might hear some who say yeah, but they'll be young, but most of them that's in their 30s and 40s, they really don't want to do this. They're just doing this to survive.
Allegedly by John Michael Hakeem Gibson, a successful musical artist who performed under the name Cash Out as seen on YouTube until he was locked up. She says he was indicted in the same case as Drain but is yet to go to trial.
He's pled not guilty
He has.
related charges.
Yes, he has.
Has he denied involvement in this incident in particular?
He has denied any culpability at this point to the indictment.
Ms. Winfrey says at trial the victim testified Cash Out basically told her if she called police about the attack, she was to leave his name out and say she and the attacker had met at a club. Prosecutor Winfrey says body cam video of the victim's outcry to Atlanta police officer Pete Cunningham, who responded after the 911 call, was played in court too.
The jury loved the responding officer because he took such great care of our victim.
The prosecutor says the victim has accomplished something too many others have found difficult, escaping the bonds of sexual servitude and turning her life around, which should inspire other victims.
She's doing very well. She works with the elderly now. She's serving.
Ms. Winfrey says in court, the victim said, as far as you, Mr. Drain, God have mercy on your soul. I've prayed since the day you tried to steal my dignity that you wouldn't harm another young lady like me.
This verdict sends a message to the public that buyers must beware.
Prosecutor Winfrey says Drain was acquitted of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. But again, she indicated he was convicted on 4 other counts.
Human trafficking is a huge priority because it's a crime that is literally tearing through Atlanta and Fulton County and really the United States, destroying lives. And so we've made it a focus of our prosecution and this office's goals.
That was Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis. I spoke briefly to who we understand is Drain's attorney, who seemed to indicate he anticipates an appeal. I've exchanged text messages with Cash Out's lawyer, who indicated he was in a meeting, the lawyer, at last check. Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.
I know one thing for certain. When it comes to Fonnie Willis and her making a presence on television to her local news station, it's for a high-profile case. It's definitely for a high-profile name. Send 11 prayers to all the victims in this case. Fam, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this one. That was the story of a rapper and his mom having allegations of trafficking young women. Talk to me in the comments. Don't forget.
But yeah, like I said before, y'all can go follow him, man. His name is it's called The Family. Y'all can go follow him. But like I said before, he can say he spent a life. I got another one here. I was watching DJ Academic said something about this. Let me see. He was just talking about it. Oh my gosh, hold up. He was just talking about it.
What makes Zaxby's giant chicken finger case?
Doing good, but I'll tell you who's not doing good. This nigga Cash Out, man. They gave this nigga like 8 life
Sorry for the language, y'all. Sorry for the language.
sentences. Yo, they gave this nigga so much time, he thanked the judge. Like, he got discombobulated. He was confused. Now, if you guys haven't been keeping up, you know, this is the real Diddy case, if you didn't know. So Cash Out was a rapper. He has this popular song. Anybody remember it? Who's old enough to remember Cash Out's song? He had a really popular song from back in the day. You know? Anyway, by the way, this is the fact, and I don't want to mention anybody's name because I'm not a snitch. Well, I am, but I'm not really. Every falling off rapper or every one-hit wonder rapper sells drugs. All of them. They're either selling drugs or scamming. Every single one of them, Chad. I promise you. You know why? The moment they get a taste of the millions and the millions dry up, and now they got to go back to a Hyundai when they was just in that big body Benz? Nah.
Ain't nothing wrong with a Hyundai. I'm telling you that right now. I like a Hyundai. Hyundais are good cars. Ain't nothing wrong with a Hyundai or a Nissan. I love them. But that's just me.
Nah, it's drug selling time. They get yo, call up Pablo. We need some birds. yo, teach me how to crack the cars. What's the methods? Yo, trust and believe. So anytime I see a rapper who ain't had a hit in 5 or 10 years still flexing, I'm just wondering what he doing. You know what I mean? But anyway, my man Cash Out. Let me not say my man. Holy. Hasn't had a hit in a while. Still living, a lucrative life, supposedly. Does he have his, let me see his social media. Cash Out Instagram. First of all, a nigga that name is Cash Out can't look broke, right? A nigga named Cash Out can't look broke, right? It don't matter if your last hit was like 15 years ago. You can't look broke, okay? 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 Exactly. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I wonder where he got that bird from. God damn. Damn. Holy shit. All right, nigga. Damn. And he got some extra cash in the back pocket. Okay, my boy.
All we doing is positive vibes, positive people. Man, people who really want to get rich, man. You talking about really, man, have patience, put that hard work in. Know it ain't gonna be easy, but we.
Every scammer always got a motivational speech. Yo, every scammer, drug dealer, everybody who be doing illegal shit to get money, always be telling you to work hard. Yo, come on, man, just work hard, focus up, leave the hold alone, you know what I mean? Yo, you gotta really get it out the money. Like, they be saying this shit. Nigga, what? How the hell is scammers, the drug dealers and the pimps and sex traffickers got motivational speeches for us? How the hell? Just have some patience, man. Listen, man, it's just wait your turn. Wait your turn. You're like, what is these niggas talking about?
We gonna get there. We gonna get there, man.
This is after they done scammed 1,500 old ladies, bro.
All we doing is positive vibes, positive.
It's always positive vibes with the goddamn criminals, huh? Part of being a boss is loving people before you love yourself.
So I mean, on social media, he proclaimed himself to be like a legit guy, but in real life, he's a freaking monster. I'm gonna say allegedly, but then you can't really say allegedly. He's going to prison, but he's a freaking monster. Supposedly, allegedly.
What? Wait till I tell you what he was charged with. What the hell?
But you guys already know.
This is crazy.
Good morning. Let's wake up and get these M's, you dig what I'm saying? Every day.
Nah, this is crazy. Ain't no way, Chad. Ain't no way.
Foo, you've missed a boat on crypto. Join the 30 million plus who trade from just $1 with MoonPay.
Oh yeah, the motherfucker back now. Play Jack. Play Jack. Good morning from us, Jack. Oh yeah, the motherfucker back now. Play
Okay,
Jack.
all right. So even though my man hasn't had a hit in like 15 years, he would not pass up an opportunity to let us know Cash Out was still cashing out. Okay? Now, let me read what actually ended up happening to him, right? So, first and foremost, well, I guess spoiler alert, the nigga got found guilty and sentenced to life in prison for RICO and pimping bitches, okay? Let me just read from Variety. Rapper Cash Out was sentenced to life in prison plus 70 years on RICO and sex trafficking charges. Okay, rapper Cash Out has been sentenced to life in prison plus 70 years after being found guilty of RICO in a sexual assault case. Cash Out, born as John Gibson, was found guilty on Friday in his Atlanta trials. He was sentenced to life in prison for his rape charge, as well as an additional 70 years for RICO and other convictions. The sentences will be ran concurrently. The Atlanta MC experienced moderate success in early 2010 with his 2012 debut single Cashing Out, ironic, reaching #1 on the Billboard Rap Airplay chart. He also scored another hit with She Twerkin' 2 years later when he released his solo album, Let's Get It. Alongside his sentences, his mother, Linda Smith, was also, oh, goddamn, even the mama was pimping these chicks. Goddamn. His mother.
You guys already knew that. I spoke about that part. The mom was in it. The cousin was in it too. So it really became a RICO charge because they had to catch, because RICOs is usually used for mobs. So they had to, in Atlanta, I guess RICOs is used a lot because they used the RICO charge and also in, what's the other rapper name? Young Thug. So I guess RICO's used a lot over there in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mother Linda Smith got 30 years on RICO charge, while his cousin Tyrone Taylor was given life in prison plus 70 years. The trial, which began 2 months ago, concerned the allegations that Cash Out, his mother and cousin, coerced and forced women into sex work over the course of several years. They were accused of exploiting women for profit, with prosecutors using evidence that included text messages from 8 cell phones. Charges were initially brought in June 2023 against Cash Out, who allegedly leveraged his celebrity status to commit his crimes. His legal teams argued that the victims were bullied into testifying against him, while the prosecution claimed that he had engaged in a 7-year reign of terror. This has been going on for 7 years, Fulton County prosecutor Earl Winfrey said during the trial. This ain't just straight pimping. This is straight up trafficking, okay? He did address the court. I'll play that in a little bit. But to kind of explain this organization, we keep hearing RICO, and then obviously we've seen with Young Thug that didn't come to completion, but we kind of understood it there. With Diddy, he beat the RICO charge. Let's see Cash Out RICO explain.
Cash Out not gonna be able to beat it. Well, he didn't beat it because he don't got no money to beat it. Young Thug and them, they got money, but also I think there was also other things in effect for them to beat it, but that's just my belief, my opinion.
Let's hear what, and by the way, yeah, he did give a statement before he got indicted. So let's get to some of the details really quick. I don't want to bore you guys, but it is important to understand what he was actually accused of. Where is it? Okay. And by the way, all the women who were involved in this pimping situation, they all testified against him, right? They all testified against him. Okay, is there not an easy explanation I could play? Okay. All right, let's hear what Ricky Smiley had to say. Let's see.
Right. What up, Rick? Victims. It has been claimed that some of the women were held against their will and others were beaten. Fulton County Deputy District Attorney Winfred said, "We've rescued 2 so far. Some of these women are our most vulnerable women, and he lured them in, let them believe that he cared about them and that he would take care of them, only to flip the script and then begin to pimp them out." He's accused of whipping a young lady who's a sex worker, and this was one of the girls that he had recruited. The rapper reportedly previously pled not guilty, but this new indictment has several more charges. Cash Out is currently incarcerated. If convicted, he faces 25 years to life in prison. That is
that is
crazy.
Absolutely disgusting and sad.
Yeah,
and our women need to be protected.
Man,
that's why we're here to protect women. That's like the first order of business.
Little sister or your own little cousin.
He said, "Come on in here and get this tea while it's hot." She began. So apparently it's a party going on where plaques are given away for my.
Okay. All right. So
he's pled not guilty.
Oh, one of his co-defendants got life. Oh yeah.
Good mornings always start with good breakfast. So whether you start yours with fluffy.
Yeah, he was cooked. Now here's the ironic thing about this chat. Cash Out was offered 25 years. So there.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think I spoke about that. He was offered 25 years, but they didn't want that. He said, "Yo, I'm gonna go to court. I'm gonna fight it." End up getting life. End up losing and end up getting life.
Offered him 25 years. He would be able to get out. I don't know how old he is. Maybe like 30 something. He would have got out by like 50 something.
Let me see how old he is. This is a football note. Oh, okay. See how old Cash Out. Cash Out. Age. They ain't gonna say it. Let me play this back.
He said no. He took the Diddy method, but he don't got Diddy money. And this case, honestly, is very different from Diddy's, right? Diddy was just freaky. This was pimping, right? And he blew trial. He blew trial, and essentially, he got found guilty and got a life sentence, right? Before the judge actually handed down his or her actually, that's another bad sign. You have a black.
That's another thing too. Like that's another bad sign. There's no way he thought he was gonna win this. You got about like 3 females up here. Like nothing but the judge is a female. Like even make it worse. She's a black female. Like come on, bro. Like these are females. They ain't finna take that, bro. You finna go down. Like that is common sense. Like even your mama and grandma know it. You going down. You going down. Like this, you going down. And boy, he went down. They ain't throw the book at him. They threw the whole library at him. He went down.
Female. You have a black female prosecutor, black female judge, and you're charged with
Oh my
pimping.
gosh.
Nigga. That's like Diddy
What
walking into
the
court with 6 white women, bro. Again, except you're just not Diddy, right? Here we go. He made a statement for about 8 minutes before the judge gave him life. He was found guilty on Friday of RICO, rape, holding people false in prison. He got found guilty of goddamn everything. He did get acquitted of certain things, but he got found guilty of the home run charges. And when I say home run charges, the shit that carry damn near life. Sexual assault, sex trafficking, RICO. He got found guilty of all of those. Here we go.
So before I ask the court for what I'd like to ask the court to do, can I have my client address the court?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
What would you like to stand?
Good morning today, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I want to start out by thanking you for giving us a fair trial. I want to thank the jurors for the amount of time that they put in to judge this trial. This time being on this
Yes, this attorney was in the YSL trial.
I was able to see how the jurors are put in a tough position to, sit there and judge someone's life, and, it's a hard decision, and I felt like they made the wrong judgment. I've done things in my life. I'm not perfect. But the things I've been accused of, I know that I haven't done those things.
And if you listen to what he's saying, he's not sorry for what he's doing. He's not sorry. He's just more like saying, yo, these women had the right to leave. I didn't force anybody to do anything. I didn't do anything to these people. What's being told in the court is not true. It's not true. And he's not like I said again, he's not sorry. He's not saying sorry for what he did. He's just saying, yo, I ain't do it. Y'all. That's all he's saying.
I know it's typical for a person to come up here and, show remorse to, crimes that they have done, but I can only show remorse to the people that I know that was in this trial, which is.
Oh, they're bleeping that out.
Okay.
Not remorse on behalf of like I did anything to them, because if you know me and people who really know me know that I wouldn't force anybody to do anything. I met women, I dated women who were doing escort or whatever, however people want to look at it from a moral standpoint, but who was doing these things as a grown woman. I've only dealt with grown women. Nothing was forced. Nothing was coerced or anything of that nature. If you notice before this trial, no woman can say anything about me before this trial. If you notice before this indictment, no woman can say anything about me before this indictment. I get the situations that people are put in when they're faced with a certain type of crime or a certain type of time, and they're bullied into this situation to put the blame on someone, or to put the blame on Cash Out, or to put the blame on someone.
I'm gonna be honest with you. For his explanation here, he might as well have taken a stand. So I don't know. He's not apologizing here, people. He's actually saying, I know people usually come up here because he's already found guilty. He's like, his fate now lies in the hands of the judge and how much years she's gonna give him. He's saying most people come up here and just apologize and just own responsibility, but I can't do that because I really feel like I didn't do nothing wrong. So again, he's kind of saying, yeah, I sat here but I think y'all made the wrong choice. So he's not really apologizing. He's saying that, yo,
he was already, like, at this point right here, he was already sentenced. He was already sentenced. He just giving his testimony of, hey, y'all made a mistake here. But he was already sentenced at this point.
He's trying to use a Diddy argument. Yo, these are grown women. They did what they wanted to do. The difference, I would probably say, I don't know this case in and out, you were selling the women, and they relied on you for money. And you, supposedly, according to the case that was, like, similar to it, for his co-defendant that was tried separately but got found guilty as well, that they used to beat the women and kind of, I mean, you're kind of coercing them if you're pointing guns at them, right? Come on now.
Like, that's common sense. Like, you're forcing them. If you, like, they didn't really have the right to go anywhere. Like I said before, they didn't have the right to move anywhere or to go anywhere. You have gun, you're whipping them. So what rights did they have for them to leave? The fear of their life. What right did they have?
Who's at the top? That's why I didn't really fault them for their decision. I didn't fault for making her decision during a proffer. She just had a child. Mind you, she was just on video call with me while being incarcerated. I don't fault for doing the thing.
Oh, this nigga name dropping.
And she did.
By the way, all the girls flipped on him.
With her proffer, because mind you, she was facing a certain amount of time handling her probation in different cases that she's on. I don't fault people for making accusations because I'm a man that typically let women leave on their own behalf. Never held them in prison or held them in slavery or said, you can't leave me or you can't do this. Every woman you seen come on this stand showed you that they left and came back willingly on their own. What I mean by that, they left on their own and they came back willingly on their own.
Some of the stuff you're hearing, you can just hear that he's just lying. Like, he's lying. Like, they left on their own and they came back on their own. Like, what woman would want to come back to a sex trafficker? Like, come on, man, make that make sense.
During this trial, I was able to see, you know, how valuable life is and how valuable the people that you hang around or the people that you even date or the people that you even know, how valuable it is to judge their character. Sometimes I let people stay around who I knew was going to affect a situation that I had going on. So I don't, and for the people who came to this trial that I never met a day in my life, never had any contact with them, never had a text message with them, never had an interaction with them, don't even know where most of these stories came from, it's baffling. Never forced a woman to commit a sexual act. Never. I've been traveling all around the world from.
Prices are blowing up, except on Kayak. Get cheaper flights this summer on Kayak. Search now.
Here to Dubai, and you would never hear a woman say that I forced them to do anything sexual or commit a rape with anybody. I don't hang around people that do things of that nature. I feel like, and somebody asked me this the other day. It was like, every time I see your head high and you always smiling, because when you have that confidence, it takes me back to the Bible. When you have that confidence, and
hey, well, when these people standing before the court, boy, standing before the judge and that, man, boy, God is like the first thing they bring up. Boy, I'm a new person. God has changed me. I believe in Jesus Christ. But when they was outside, they were living crazy than a mother freaker. They were living crazy. They were talking crazy. They was raping, having sex with whoever. But as soon as they stand before that court and they stand before that judge, hey, I believe in Jesus. Jesus is the Most High God, and I'm a hallelujah man now. Come on, man, stop playing around.
you know you can be falsely accused of things. Jesus was falsely accused. A lot of the prophets were falsely accused. You don't have that emotion like you've done something. You know, so if you see me with my head high, or if you see me smiling, it's because I know at the end of the day, through Jesus Christ, the Most High will always give you the actual judgment. So I really thank you for providing us a fair trial. Just me getting to know you during trial, I was like, you know, she's just the judge. But when you sit 12 people in that panel and you know, have them, you know, judge our lives and, you know, put them in a position to judge our lives, you know, it takes you back to, once again, the Bible, when people had to judge these prophets' lives. And I say, if you know me, you actually know me. There's plenty of people that know me in this world. There's plenty of people that know me in this jail. There's plenty of people that know me where I'm from. Like I say, once again, I'm not perfect. I come from certain areas. I come from, you know, certain environments. I come from doing things in my past life before the music. But I'm here to tell you that if you sat in this trial and you paid attention to this trial, before these dates, no woman could ever say, I done those things to them. Before these dates, you can go on my Instagram and see these women enjoying themselves, having their own things, living their own life. Before these dates, I can say you had these women that never had anything to say about me. Before this indictment, before the RICO, you had these women actually talking to me while I was incarcerated. I've been incarcerated for 4 years, and these women are interacting with me. These women who took the stand and supposedly scared of me, or monsters, or I'm a monster, or took these proffers. This wasn't the case before they was indicted. So from my perspective,
okay, he's kind of making a point here, but again, he should have took the stand.
I mean, not to me. He's not making any point to me. He's just trying to defend himself and trying to say, yo, these women, they again, they're not telling the truth. They're not telling the truth. But then again, it's kind of hard, bro. It's kind of hard for you to say, well, they're not telling the truth, but then you're being accused of, not even accused, you're being placed at a scene and being part of something that's very, very that can destroy people's life, you know. So I don't really believe. I believe he's a good talker, and I believe he's trying to talk his way into like making people feel like, you know, sentimental, feeling some type of way. But I really believe he really did those things. Like he really did those things, straight up.
I'm wondering where the fine line is, and you know, obviously, Fulton County, they love the RICO. Like they absolutely cherish and love the RICO charge, and they were successful here. I think what he really means to say, and this is why I said he should have took the stand. Maybe he could have been on some Diddy shit, pause, and just said, listen, Yo, check this out. Yo, I pimped a few hoes, but I wasn't doing all of this other shit in no organized fashion. I met a couple bitches. They already was selling pussy. I knew some niggas that had some money.
Again, sorry for the language, y'all. Sorry for the language.
That want to buy some pussy. I put him with her with him. I took my cut off the top. Yeah, I was pimping. That's a charge too. But that's not a life sentence plus 70 years. I think that's what he's kind of alluding to, because what happens is they take that and they now say, oh no, you forced these women to do this. They didn't want to do this shit. Because that's what sex trafficking is, right? Like you elicit commercial sex acts from women using force, fraud,
by force,
coercion, right?
Yeah.
And I think what he's saying, like, yo, these are grown women. Yeah, I'm broke. I'm a rapper, or I was a rapper. Yeah, I was like connecting 1 and 2, getting whatever. And again, that if you ask me, that's the difference between this motherfucker doing 5 years and this nigga doing life, right? Because they trumped up the RICO to say he had a system. He had his mama doing this. He had his so and so doing that. And that's why, you know, somebody said they overbaked him. Yeah, they overcooked his ass. I ain't gonna lie.
I feel like some people can get bullied into a situation that they really don't really wanna do. And I'm sitting here just holding my head high and just, you know, feeling that one day the truth will come out. One day the truth will come out on my situation. One day the truth will come out on this rape allegation. That these things never happen. And when you see a person get up on that stand and put their hand on the Bible and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, that means you have to be perfect like you're Jesus. You have to be perfect on that stand. You can't show a flaw. And that's a tough one. It's a tough one for me because I had flaws in my life. So you have to tell the complete truth on that stand. And I got up there and see people put their hand on that Bible and not tell the complete truth. And that's baffling. But at the end of the day, I put my trust in the Most High. I put my trust in the universe to bring out the truth. To bring out the truth of these people who made these allegations. To me, it's like you have no heart. You have no heart. And I know people want me to stay in line or walk a toe, but when you speaking something truthfully and you speaking from the heart and you know that this is not your character, something must be said. And I just wanted to address the court and give my perspective on the things that I felt during this trial and the judgment that I felt that the jurors gave us was not the correct judgment. And it will show. Thank you.
All right, this is where you get overcooked right here.
They throw the whole library at that boy.
You are to register.
Same old phone? Nah.
Oh my
Upgrade
gosh,
to the new
these
Galaxy
commercials,
Z
son.
Fold 7.
30 pimping, 20 years.
Here we go.
The sentencing to be meted out by this court will be responsive to that. Mr. John Michael Hakeem Gibson, would you please stand? Okay. On count 1, violation of the Georgia RICO Act, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 10. On count 10, rape, life in confinement.
Damn.
Count 12, aggravated sodomy, life in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 22, trafficking a person for sexual servitude, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 1. Count 23, trafficking a person for sexual servitude, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 22. Count 24 on the lesser included offense of battery, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 25, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, 5 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 23. Count 26, pimping, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10.
So you see what I was saying? So the pimping charge, it's a year. They give him a year. However, obviously rape, life. What else? That's life. What else? RICO, he got 20, and then all of the sex servitude, which is like sex trafficking, 20 years.
Count 27, pandering, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 28, keeping a place of prostitution.
Gosh, Lee, how many crying this man? I mean, they just hitting it. They just hitting them with just counts and counts and counts and counts. Like, gosh, Lee, and it's all adding up too.
12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 29, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 30, simple battery, merges into count 24, battery. Count 45, possession of prohibited items by an inmate. 5 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive.
Hold up, what she just said?
5 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive. Possession of prohibited items by an inmate.
This man was committing crime. Why in jail or prison?
5 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 25. Conditions of this sentence: no contact with any of the victims named in the indictment, to include Diamond Irvin or their families.
Damn.
You are to register as a sex offender.
That part took me out of surprise. Cause I'm like, sex offender. I'm like, was he pimping like 15, 14-year-olds or something? But I did my research, and because of the crime, there was sexual. Because of the crime, there was sexual. He have to register as a sex offender because the crimes were like, all of them were sexual crimes. He have to register as a sex offender. I got this information from ChatGPT. So yeah, but yeah, no.
You are to stay away from 737 Alfred Road in Atlanta. You are to stay away from the Mezzo condominium, 2171 Peachtree. You are to stay away from the St. George's Commons address, and you are to stay away from the Fulton Industrial Boulevard corridor.
And I'm not understanding why she's telling him to stay away from these places. I'm like, yo, the man's in prison. When is he coming out or something? Like, he's in prison. Like, I don't understand.
All right, you may be seated. All right, Ms. Smith and counsel, please stand.
That's the mom. That's the mom.
As to count 1, violation of the Georgia RICO Act, 20 years to serve in confinement. Count 37.
At Zaxby's, you can lemon pepper any way you want. Now that's lemon pepper perfection.
Oh my gosh. Guys, I be hating these commercials, yo. I promise everything I love.
Trafficking a person for sexual servitude, 10 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive to count 1. You're to have no contact with any of the victims, including Diamond Irvin, named in this indictment, or their families. You are to register as a sex offender. You are to stay away from 737 Alfred Road, the Mezzo at 2171 Peachtree Road, the address at the St. George's Commons, 9340, and the FIB, Fulton Industrial Boulevard corridor. You may be seated.
They gave the mom 30 years.
All right, Mr. Taylor. On count 1, violation of the Georgia RICO Act, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive.
It's the cousin right here. The one that's standing out, that's the cousin.
With count 9. Count 9, rape. Life in confinement.
Gosh.
Damn, why she say it like that?
Count 11.
Because she's a female.
Aggravated sodomy. Life in confinement to run concurrent with count 9. Count 13. Trafficking a person for sexual servitude. 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 1. Count 15. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 13. Count 16. False imprisonment. 10 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 15. Count 17. Pandering by compulsion. 10 years to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 9. Count 18. Possession of cocaine. 3 years to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 9. Count 19. Tampering with evidence. 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 9. Count 20. Willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer by use of threats or violence. 10 years to serve to run concurrent with count 9 and a suspended fine of $300. You are to have no contact with any of the victims named in the indictment, nor are you to have any contact with Diamond Irvin or any of their families. You are to stay away from the Fulton Industrial Boulevard corridor. You are to stay away from...
Again, I don't know why she's telling them to stay away. I mean, these guys are going life for prison. They're going life. They're going in prison for life. They're not coming out. So why she's telling them to stay away? That part I'm not understanding that part.
737 Alfred Road in Atlanta. You are to stay away from the Mezzo address at 2171 Peachtree Road and the address at the St. George.
It could be that, those two could have somebody, call somebody on the phone and say, yo, go to this address, go to this address. It could be that's why she's telling them to stay away from those places. It could be that too. I just thought about it.
Commons, 9340. You register as a sex offender.
Well, damn. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I wish I had the indictment here. If anybody got a link to the indictment, I could look it up, but I want to like pause the stream. I gotta read what these motherfuckers really did. Like, I know he was pimping, clearly, but the obviously there's sexual assault in there too. But the idea of like this whole like.
Listen, man. This the end of the video here, right here. I'm gonna still keep streaming, but I was just recording that for other purposes. But like I said, the whole thing was do right. The title's do right to people, man. Do right to people because eventually you're going to end up meeting your faith. You're gonna reap what you sow. Those guys did what they did. They did wrong. Cash out. His family, his mom, and his cousin. They all did what they did, and they all paying for it. 2 of them are gonna spend life in prison. One of them gonna do 30 years. I don't know how old is she now, but by the time she get out, she might be in her I don't know 80s or something, 70 or 80. And that's if she get out by that time and is alive. So yeah, do good to people, man. Do good to people. Subscribe, share, like this video. Also got a Twitch. Follow me, H Metayer, METAYER 95. But yeah, God love, God bless y'all. Oh yeah, I don't know why I just said that. I'm still, but yeah.